Hello. It's Prince Easy. Well, let's get to it. So, in the previous videos, we talked about the counterpart to Archangel Michael or David or Jacob, and that is Metatron, right? With his crown of chakras, right? The you of you who think you're not part of the New Age movement, yeah, here you go. What do you think this is? Right? They call it Metatron's cube or whatever, but it's really it's a chakra map, right? It's a chakra map, right? So we're gonna dive into symbolism today and a little bit of history to give I don't know, context to what is really happening now as we speak, as things unfold on your side and of course on my side, right? Because these are two wars, right? The war on Israel and the war on Judah, right? The prince. Of course, we see the consistency of the globe underneath Michael. Supposed to be Michael, right? That's really Metatron. So, the headlines, depressing, right? Really depressing. Why are they doing all of this, right? This is the second time, right? This is the second time that they do this, right? I shall tell you what is happening and why it is happening, because it is really important that I lay everything on the table, because I incur risk, so you also incur risk, and that's just the reality of the life that we are living right now as we speak, right? I heard they were having peace talks. I don't know, is this going to throw a wrench on the whole situation? Again, that same rhetoric, right? Of course, I talk about UNRWA, they counter on UNRWA, right? Because they were hush about it, and now people are talking about it, and now people are questioning what is it actually actively doing right now. And of course, here we are, right? The war continues, right? I cannot keep repeating myself, right? Cannot keep repeating myself. If you don't see the necessity of listening to what I say, then it is all up to you. It is all up to you, really. But the reality will not change. Okay? These are some hard pills that have to be swallowed at this particular moment, right? So of course we had Macron chime in at Morocco. I don't know what that's about, but we are soon going to find out, right, about this whole situation. It is linked, right? King of the Angels, a journey of a man transformed into a supreme archangel, right? This is the arc of my life, literally. That's why I say he is the Gemini to Archangel Michael, and whatever Michael is supposed to do at this particular time, of course the devil would have a counterpart, which is Metatron, just another form that they take, right? Right, we're gonna see. That's what they do. They don't like you, you are not part of the plan, you don't fit into the plan. They need somebody who complies for a reason, right? It's important for them, right? The integration of Africa is not really a priority to some leaders, it seems. They are more and more playing politics and picking sides and just plain manipulation. That's all I can say from where I stand. Manipulation. It's not even blindness no more, right? We can call it that. Now he want to duplicate the experience of Hollywood into Africa. Hollywood has no movies. The entirety of Hollywood is just there to tell one story, just a single story. Just a single story. And the story is told by the names of the characters, right? Their real life names, all the names they have chosen in these roles they choose, right? And if you decipher their names, you will understand who is Michael, David, or Judah, and who is the devil, Metatron, and his minions. Him being one of them, right? Somebody seemed to be hating on the relationship between Cuba and Venezuela, right? There's even talk of them undermining the power infrastructure of Cuba, causing blackouts and this and that, right? That barbaric mindset has not really diluted, right? That English blood. They're too busy concerned with what is happening outside. They're not really concerned with what is happening within their own countries. This is just a game for them, that's what they think, right? They don't know that the most important thing that is to happen to this world is to happen here in Africa. So what does this tell me? Right? These people are not trustworthy. These people are not trustworthy. They're just pawns in a game, right? Because he just done shift from the NAM, right? Now there they are, right? Filing case files and stuff, right? They are just a perfect puppet. For who? We shall soon find out, right? I'm also watching India, right? Right? This whole situation with India, this here, we had a conversation about this a long time ago. It's the same conversation we had about Turkey, and right now we see where they are, right? And my guy here is giving assurances, right? Like he is going to be the one coding away in the dark, drinking the devil's drink, Red Bull, right? It's a game. It's a game. The AI they would literally need is active right now. You just have to be a target to figure that out. I tend I'm the biggest target to ever exist, right? Guess they're coming for everybody's job, I guess. This is that mild exaggeration that they want just to join without any form of benefit. It's just a joining, right? It's just a joining, right? One continent, 3 blocks of power, all externally influenced, right? The ECOWAS, the SADC, and the AU, literally. And you're telling me we are on our way to integration. Are we serious? That's why I say they have to die. So my guy here with his French, he knows exactly what he's doing and who he's working for. Right? These people just pop out of nowhere and have their stuff together and like they just fit into their plans and stuff, right? They've actively done nothing to save lives and still they want people to join them. Are you serious? They see the boom that is going on in the AES. Right? That shows how incompetent, no, how treacherous they are. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a thing of a political will and whatnot. No. This is just basic decency, basic human decency that these leaders lack. Right? Hence, they cannot be moved to do anything positive for their people. They just complain and steal money and kill people. That's what they do. And they think they're gonna do that forever. It's gonna continue. They're gonna pick a successor that is not gonna backfire on them, and it's gonna be a perpetual system because they are hiding the secret, and now it's a thing. The things that come out of these people, you know. Now they're saying that China and Russia are exploiting Africa, and now they have to intervene because they are literally our protectors, right? The same nations that wanted the slave trade to continue, and basically not just the trade but slavery in general to continue, are now playing the role of the protector, the protectors of Africa from the exploitation of China and Russia. The new doctrines are popping up everywhere, right? They say that the proof is in the Bible, that we are living in a simulation, right? A dream world, basically, where nothing is really anything. That's what they're saying, right? This is just a pathway to, to the whole opening your chakras and experiencing and having power over nature. Basically, the same rhetoric that the Egyptians started, right? Where they just, after quote unquote being enlightened, now they figure out, I am God. I am worthy of worship, right? Because of this and that. This is the same thing, right? So if it's a simulation, we can change things willy-nilly without any form of consequences because it's a program, right? Regardless of if it's gonna crash and whatnot. But that's what I figured out. Apparently, we're living in a simulation, a dream world. So let's talk about this symbol here, right? As part of the religions that are believed in Zion, right? So it is basically inherited over and across generations through marriage, right? We talked about this plan, right, of the children of the serpent marrying their offspring to kings, right? Marrying their offspring off to kings of the world and to put themselves in a position of power, right? To wield power through these kings, right? After they mysteriously vanish, right? But this is just a simple history, right? And of course, this adoration of Magi looks familiar, right? As the story of Christ, right? So let's go into detail, really, right? What does that symbol represent, right? Because it wasn't a religious symbol. It was a symbol of a kingdom, right? And it was inherited over and over, right? As you can see in the last picture here, if you go into Wikipedia talking about this a history of this symbol, you'll see that it was a symbol of a kingdom, right? Why they chose that symbol now is what we're going to talk about, right? It is everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's not in just what we call Islam today, right? So ancient Near East, right? Ancient Near East, that region that gave birth to all of the world regions that we have today, right? And they're saying that it represents the sun and moon, right? Or the moon and Venus, the morning star, right? And the letter which is the representation of the moon and Venus, right? The morning star in brackets, right? This is a common celestial event that happens during the morning, right? So the books, the collage of the books we call the Bible, talk about the morning star, right? And most people make the mistake of making a relationship between the sun and being the morning star. No, it's not really the morning star. The morning star is the morning star, meaning the brightest object in the morning, which is Venus, right? So they looked at these celestial bodies, Venus and the moon, right? And they made a whole religion around that, right? Their celebrations are based around the moon and its phases. This is just the same as moon worship. We are not supposed to be worshipping moons and celestial bodies. This is a warning given clearly in the scriptures that we should not be worshipping these things. All worship should go towards the Maker, right? All worship should go towards the Maker and the Maker alone. But as usual, the Nephilim convert themselves into angels of light and insert themselves into our faith and transform them from within, right? Introducing new symbols, but yet old and familiar symbolism, right? So here it tells you exactly what it means, right? They say they are divine personification, right? Now, how did it end up in a part of a religious symbol? How did it become so, right? For instance, the cross, the Jesus or Yeshua is not the first person to be crucified, right? He's not the first person to be crucified. It was a thing that the Romans did, right? And that cross became a symbol, right, for the early followers of Yeshua, right? So this insert here is important that you read it, right? And also, before I forget, I will add a link in the description of this video, right, to give further context and further explanation, right? I'm going somewhere, right? We are gonna track how the Nephilim seed spread and had power over the world, right? It has complete power over the world right now, right? And that link will show you, will demonstrate, will add on to the knowledge that I'm giving you right now, right? So you can go on and read for yourself. Like I want people to be to learn the truth and know the truth, right? Because we do things, but we don't really question them, right? We are born into them, right? We don't really question them. Why is it like that, right? How did it become the symbol of our religion? Islam, Muslims, you should be asking these questions. How did it become, right? Because we are trying to find the true God, and the true God can only be found by the truth, right? The truth and nothing else but the truth. Okay, so that is on top of the realization of you black people being the Israelites and these things being brought to us, right? So it goes on to talk about the Ottoman Empire and all of this, right? Just blood all over, right? Star and crescent. The star, which is what people call the planet Venus, right? That's just another layer of deception, right? These wandering stars, they call them planets, right? They are not planets. They are stars, right? And they have been part of civilization for years, brothers and sisters. They are not a new phenomenon like NASA seems to insinuate. No, NASA is just a church that is teaching the world the way of the fallen, right? Right, so here in the end it goes on to talk about the resistance that was faced, right? And this is all a power play, brothers and sisters, right? Now let's turn the other side, which is the Christianity, right? The mother of Christianity, Catholicism, right? This is the symbol they have, literally. Right? I have personally seen it many times, right? The woman standing on top of the moon, right? And angels all around, right? This was a thing that was inserted into the church as some part of revelation, right? So we see the stars on the head, right? The stars surrounding her head, and of course we have the moon. So it is the same symbolism used by the Muslims. The same symbolism, because it's the same people that designed this deception, brothers and sisters. I keep repeating this over and over. I hope it sticks. Right? Here we are, right? You thought it was just exclusive to Muslims. No, it is, right? Talk about the European Union, right? There is the moon, right? Standing on top of the moon. This is a new revelation, right? Just the layers of disrespect, right? She is not a real Mary, because the real Mary was black, right? She was not from royalty, but she was black, right? Her guardian, right? Her guardian, right? People have done the numbers to know how old she was actually really young. So her guardian also turned white over the years, and here they are, right? So you might be deceived to think that this is the mother of Yahshua, but no, not really. This is the crescent and moon worship, right? All of these people saying that I was recently watching a movie, I think I have the slide here. It was called Dogma, right? It is called Dogma. And in this movie, they fight the whole idea. They say that the Bible is actually wrong. The Bible has been rewritten. It has been made by the patriarchy, right? And the only way they fix the patriarchy is saying God was a woman, right? And they keep pinning. They have a whole sit-down interview where they exposition the whole, right? They're just trying to program, yeah? They're trying to program people to believe their deception. But this movie here, this movie is the truth, right? And that other movie called Legion, that is the truth. They tell you the truth, but it's hard to understand unless the character that is being depicted in there explains it to you, which is myself, right? So you can watch it for yourself, right? Of course, they have their symbolism all over, right? They have their symbolism all over, right? Because it's their work, it's their handiwork, right? This is the last deception that they are cooking, right? So this movie connects with this movie, literally the same movie, right? A descendant of Jesus Christ being initiated into their cult, right? They want to initiate Michael or David or Judah into their court, hence causing the falling away of Israel. That's their simple but efficient plan, and it has worked so many times. Right? So many times, right? In this movie, they even pointed out, right? So many times they pointed out, but you know, there is a Achilles heels in their whole storytelling, right? Because they are lying, right? So you're telling me that the only descendant that remains is that person? How is that even possible? Right? It's not possible, because it's a lie, right? The devil is the father of lies. So the woman who is the victim in this movie here, made by the Nephilim to the T, and this movie here also made by the Nephilim to the T, they are all about one thing, right? In this movie, they're even going fast to even show the Templars and this movie, man, is a whole thing, right? It's a whole thing, you know. When my mission was to begin, I watched this movie a long time ago, and I forgot about it really, right? Because I didn't really know back then what it really means, right? But now, it's the darkest. These two, they are really dark. Really dark, brothers and sisters, I kid you not. Right? So we talked about this the other day, you know, just trying to set niggas up, always. You know, even the BLM thing, it's not a black thing, it was a white thing. To paint niggas in a bad light, right? And then they come around and then say that, look, we need to be policing these people even harder, because they are criminals. Look at their behavior. Yeah, they're asking for more suppression, right? Just going back to the slavery moments, right? You know, that's what they want. That's what they want, and they're right. They had it. They're having it. They're going to have it. So they think, being in a place of privilege over the Israelites, right? Esau being rebellious and whatnot. So they never show these pictures, right? Because that will bring a dent to the whole narrative they're trying to paint, right? They can't be telling you the truth. Cannot be telling you the truth, not the entirety truth. This is just the first layer. The second layer is the serpent seed, right? So these people here, in their crowns, they had serpents, they had cobras, right? They had those cobras for a reason, right? Not because it was a nation's animal. If it was a national, I would think a camel or something like that. Not a cobra, right? Not a cobra, right? And whatever reason that they're giving for them choosing the cobra to be on top of their crown, you know, that is the rising cobra, right? Because we are the beginning of this mess that we see today. We as the black people, our forefathers, right? We intermarried with the serpent seed out of blindness, or lust or whatever. The kings of Israel fell like that. They married into, and it was ordained to be so, and there was nothing that we could do about it, because it was time for punishment, right? By then Israel has fallen away, right? And we see this over and over with the kings of Israel, right? Where they marry a woman, they love them so much, right? I don't know what voodoo these women have, but they have to be something, right? right? A king just forgets his forefathers' faith and just picks up this new faith and builds altars and orders the entirety of Israel to worship, right? That's why I say I'm in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble, right? This, I literally caught this from YouTube. It is a post of Netflix. What's the symbolism there, do you think? You tell me. And she's not the first one to be doing this. She's not. Many have done it, right? So I ask you, Christians, and you, Muslims, what do you really believe in? Do you know what you believe in? I'm just trying to say that we have been infiltrated. No matter how cautious we think we are, but it was a time for our enslavement. We couldn't do anything about it. It was time for punishment, and it was prophesied that we'd go out there and worship other gods. And that has been fulfilled, brothers and sisters. So now it is time that we return. We wake up from the lies that we were told, right? Now it's coming out, you know. I saw a video where the queen of Ethiopia, you know, the last black queen, right? The last black queen, after she was married to the serpent seed, and then Haile Selassie just took over and made a whole religion, and now he's the son of God. That's what the Rastafari call him, right? It's just another layer of deception, and you need to wake the hell up, right? All of those, like the church which was cut from stone, right? The one which has a plus symbolism, right? The Templar cross, right? It has swastikas and all of this. This is their work. This is them, the seed of the serpent. We need to wake up to their existence, right? So the queen wrote a letter to the diasporas that they could return to Ethiopia, and now I saw another video where they are talking about how she was hidden, right? The true Ethiopians, right? The true black Ethiopians, not the mixed race that we see today, now, right? Being the dominant and also persecuting, like we have seen in Tigray, persecuting, right? As we are seeing in Libya, where slave trade is literally still alive. Right, our brothers and sisters being used as slaves in Qatar, right, in Dubai, right? We need to wake up to who we are, right? We need to wake up to who we are, and these people who are doing this, they know exactly what they are doing because they have done it before, right? You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked by how deep this thing goes. But on the surface, it is the simplest thing ever. It's all about one person, and everything else is the distraction. Right? You should also watch this video, right? This movie trope of sulfur. Right? I think it was in the Supernatural, right? The franchise, the series, right? Which has the two brothers, right? They always talk about sulfur, and anywhere that they detect sulfur, they know that a demon is around, right? So they have been coding these things in movies, and right, this is this symbolism, right? In order to understand what they're doing, it all goes back to Metatron, right? It goes back to that angel, Metatron, the new name of the morning star, Venus, Mars. So if you remove that bag over there, if you remove that bag thingy over there, you get a symbol, right? You get this symbol, right? You can see it on the back, right? You get this symbol, and that is Medusa's head, and it was basically a symbol for a certain civilization, right? And you can see the wings, of course, they depict angels, right? They depict angels, right? And the role of Medusa, right? The whole character of Medusa, right? It's all telling their story of how they came to take power, right? Medusa was another Nephilim which was used to make Perseus a hero, right? Perseus ended up marrying, right, a princess. They're showing it over and over in movies. Even you wouldn't think that they're talking about it, like the Terminator, right? The Terminator, the first Terminator, right? The other Terminators are just a variety, or rather a spin-off of the same simulation, right? The first Terminator, that was the true intention, right? The whole intention was to get two people together. The whole point of this movie was to get two people together, right? Mr. First Patient, and of course the princess on the back, a descendant of Jesus Christ, right? To get them to have a child, to make a relationship, right? And you can see that the whole movie is literally a courtship, right? It's literally a courtship. Even this franchise here, it's a courtship, right? On the corner, that is Metatron, right? On the far left, right? And of course, we have the descendant of Christ, the lady on white, right? And of course, we have a bunch of angels and new disciples. I don't want to ruin the movie for you. It's a whole thing, right? It's a whole thing. So this is all about the new age enlightenment, right? People are being enlightened, right? Basically, the light that they had is being snuffed, right? In place of darkness, right? So we have this, right? This is literally that symbolism, right? This symbolism here, right? The crescent moon and the boy fishing, right? The boy fishing. The boy is the star, and of course living on the moon, right? It does not make sense unless you understand the logic behind what you are literally seeing over and over, right? This is a form of worship to their deities, right? So we have this music video, right? We have the moon, and of course we have Mars, right? They cannot be like too obvious, right? But this is a movie, it's a video by Taylor Swift and Ice Spice, right? This is a marriage, right? What you're seeing here is a marriage, right? For you who don't know, the history of the wedding ring is a form of Venus worship, right? It's a form of Venus worship, and kings used to do this while they marry into the Nephilim bloodlines, right? When the world was being conquered by these Nephilim bloodlines that we call today, and there are many, they are spread every freaking where, right? So this whole video was a marriage, right, between the moon and Venus, right? This is a symbolism. Right? These are symbolism, and of course they are fishing, right? They are fishing, right? If you look at how it got here, right? So what are they saying, right? They are performing a ritual of marriage, right? The Bible says that the church is like a wife to God, right? The people who believe, they are like a wife to God. They are faithful. They are one, right? And if we go ahead, we as people worship other gods, then we are called adulterers or whores, right? We broke the vows of the marriage, right? So they are talking about pairing a nigger to a Nephilim one way or the other. They want it. And they have made it clear to me that they're going to kill a lot of people until they accomplish that. This has to be known. This has to be exposed, right? That's why for the second time I talk about military bases, they attack a military base, right? The last time it was, I don't know, the first time I talked about the military base, they attacked that military training school, right? And then the other last time I talked about the military base, what happened, right? The usual suspect, the synagogue of Satan attacked a military base, right? And of course, a military base was attacked in Africa. Now people are waking up. Oh shit! Now we gotta come together. Until people die, that genius idea comes to your mind. Really, you people need to listen to what I be telling you. They will cause chaos to get to me. A lot of chaos, a lot of death to get to me. And they are hoping, right? They have their fingers crossed, right? More Egyptian symbolism, right? This is a boat of resurrection and the afterlife, right? If you want to understand the symbolism here, right? So Ice Spice is playing me, right? Ice Spice is playing me. And of course, we have Metatron, or the whole Babylon, right? Or the serpent seed. What they want to do, right? That's about the only thing they can't have to go back to heaven, right? Hence the movie, this franchise here, right? It's the whole premise of this function, right? They're saying that they want to go to heaven, but no, they don't really want to go to heaven. They want to keep heaven where it is. They want to have earth, right? And the only loophole they have is through marriage. Through marriage. So, yeah. I'm in deep doo-doo. Right? And they're actively trying to court a nigger. Actively, aggressively. Planning the downfall of the kingdom of God. How about that? Oh my goodness. The time is up. They're desperate. Their seed has to continue. Right? So just like the Superman origin, right? Because Superman is just Superman and Lois. Lois is the prince. Lois is Judah. Superman is the Nephilim, right? That S is literally a serpent coming out of the chest, right? It's the same movie as in the Alien franchise, right? Where these spider creatures impregnate you and something is born out of you, right? So it's just them doing the things over and over, over and over, over and over, right? It's the same thing with the Terminator franchise, right? They sent two, the Terminator and of course John, right? And of course we have Sarah. So how did that movie end up? Sarah became pregnant, right? It's a plan. It's a plan that they have. They have to reinstate their seeds in places of power, right? Now you, with the naked eye, you might not see who I am. You might not have the privilege to see, because I know for a fact some have had the privilege to see. You might think, this guy is a little bit too self-important. You might be tempted to think so. It's tempting to think so. Very tempting, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Historically, it is the truth. That's why they establish whole sex cults, right? They establish entire sex cults. Just people obsessed with sex, obsessed with intermingling. They don't know that, right? They're obsessed with sex. That's the end of it. That's what they think. But no, during that process, you intermingle with the serpent seed. They replicate. They multiply. Right? So there's an animosity between our seeds. Right? So what would a marriage do? It would reset the clock back. I just had a show right now. Now I know they know where I am. They just had a demonstration of a shooting star across the sky. Just in front of my peripheral view, This is deep, man. They have even, my handset right now has this feature where it downloads images for wallpapers on itself, right? So it refreshes wallpapers on a regular, and even that is targeted. Even that is targeted. So now I know what it is. So the ball is in your court, brothers and sisters. The ball is in your court. Right? If you deny me, if you exile me, things are gonna change radically for this whole continent. So that's the truth. You wanted to know the truth? That's the truth. I've shown you the symbolism. It's over and over, everywhere. Right? Everywhere. So, yeah. Just another hard pill for the day, I guess. But history will prove me right every time. So it is just a matter of acknowledging that the things happened, and that's how even Israel fell. It is because of one person, a king, right? Married a woman, and now they became worshippers of Baal, right? So this is my trouble. This is your trouble. Now that you know. Right? So let's help each other carry this cross to the finish line, right? Prince Easy, love you, signing out. Bye.